Kris, thank you so much for joining us over here today, man.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So I wanted to go through a few common questions that people may have for a personal injury attorney after an auto accident. Obviously, it's a very concerning time. There's a lot of unknowns with that. First question I have for you are, what are some of the steps that people should take immediately following an auto accident?
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, at the scene of the accident, there's some pretty obvious things. If it's a major accident where people are hurt, first thing's obviously 911. Get the fire trucks out there, ambulance, police officers. Sometimes, believe it or not, the police officers won't come out if it's not a major accident, but if they come out, they get a police report, they get the witness statements. From a legal perspective, that's one of the most important things for us to document what happened, whose fault it was, so that the version of the accident doesn't change down the road. But there's another tip that I like to give people, whether the police officers come out or not, is once everything's secured, it's safe to get out of your car, pull out your cell phone and hit the little video app and just start recording and get out there and record your car, the other driver's car, the scene of the accident, just what things look like out there. And then, this may be a little uncomfortable, but leave it rolling when you talk to the other people. So you go up to them, say, hey, are you okay? What happened? Just leave it recording. If they say, hey, are you recording me? Say, oh, well, yeah, we're gonna be talking to the insurance company later. I just wanna make sure, everything's documented about how the accident happened. Might be a little awkward, but getting the version of what happened on video and on audio is one of the most important things you can do for later on. 2 weeks later, even if you think it's an open and shut case, you'll be amazed at how many times the other person says, well, maybe I actually had the green light, or maybe it was their fault. So just lock all that down on your video with your cell phone, and then going forward, you at least have that part of the case documented really well.
Yep, I see more and more of those like shared liability type situations that could have been avoided with that. So excellent. Next question is, why is it important to seek medical attention after a personal injury, after an auto accident, even if the person doesn't necessarily have a lot of symptoms right away?
Yeah, good question. This is a common problem that we have in a lot of cases, and there's a legal reason to seek medical attention and there's a medical reason. I'll kind of let you talk about the medical side of things, but from a legal perspective, I've been doing this over 25 years now, and we see a lot of cases where people come to us and they say, I was involved in an auto accident 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I just went to the doctor. That becomes a real problem when we're negotiating with the insurance companies later, because if you wait a week or 2 weeks to go to the doctor, the first thing the insurance company is going to say is, you must not have been hurt, because otherwise you'd have been to the doctor day one, day two. So even if you feel like you haven't been hurt, or you're just like, man, I'm going to take some ibuprofen and go home and see if it gets better, go get checked out by a doctor. The first week of the accident, let them see what's really going on with you. Maybe they take x-rays, see if there's something that's going to develop over time. That way, if it does develop over time, it's documented. Week one, I was hurt in an auto accident, I went to see the doctor, and then legally down the road, that paperwork really helps us just to get checked out right away.
Yep. And sometimes we'll have patients with some mild soreness in their neck, and a few weeks later that turns into severe pain. They can't even get out of bed. So it's better to be proactive and get that diagnosis up front and start getting treatment up front to prevent issues from popping up down the road. Whereas you could get it taken care of through that case up front, and if you wait weeks or months, then at that point it's going to be out of your own pocket to get it taken care of. How can hiring an attorney benefit someone involved in an auto accident, especially when dealing with insurance companies?
Yeah.
Which we all want to deal with, right? So, yeah.
Yes, it's such a fun process. Yes. Yeah, it's not many people's life's ambition to hire an attorney and go through this process with insurance companies, but believe it or not, hiring an attorney when you're involved in one of these situations is the most important thing you can do. I'm biased, I'm an attorney, I know. But there have actually been studies done that say if somebody's represented by an attorney or if they negotiate the case on their own, what's the difference? And it's literally like 2 or 3 times more that they get paid from the insurance company when they have an attorney. So what I usually tell people, the way to think about it is you're not hiring an attorney because you're going to file suit against somebody, because you want to have this big case that gets put into the news. It's actually not going to happen. The vast majority of cases, they just get negotiated between the insurance company and the patient. And so the insurance companies have hired people to negotiate the case for them. They're called adjusters. They train them every year to minimize the value of the claim. And hiring an attorney is the patient kind of hiring their own adjuster to maximize the value of their claim. So what we do is we come in on the vast majority of cases, we handle paperwork, we deal with all the negotiations, and we're just trying to make sure that the patient gets paid everything they deserve for pain and suffering, medical expenses, lost wages. case settles, and it's all taken care of for the patient. So it's really, again, after doing this for 25 years, it's the most critical thing that someone can do is hire an attorney, just handle the process for them, make sure they get everything that they're entitled to.
And it's already a stressful time having an auto accident, so that's one other thing you can just offload is have a team working with you to make sure that you're doing all the proper steps. So what common mistakes do people make after an auto accident that could hurt their health or their legal case?
It's really the two that we just talked about. It's the delay in treatment and the delay in getting an attorney. If you do those things, almost everything else is taken care of. Get into the doctor, let them document your injuries, take care of your health. With the attorney, what we do is we don't let you make the mistake of talking to the insurance adjuster, let them convince you of things that you shouldn't be convinced of. Let us handle that process for you. When we run into problems, it's usually the person that said, I want to try to handle it on my own. They handle it for 4 or 5 weeks on their own. Then they come to us and say, hey, can you help me? The insurance company's telling me this. And I say, man, I really wish you would have come to me week 1 because I could have avoided all those pitfalls. So those are the two common things. If they get to the doctor, get to the attorney right away, everything else will usually go pretty smoothly.
Yep. And I would also add to that is staying consistent with your care. A lot of times we'll recommend a series of visits, coming in for those visits and staying consistent with the recommendations that we make. That's also a big part of the overall recovery and just to make sure things are positive on the back end of it. So Kris, thank you for being here. I wanted to also see if you could introduce the Barber Law Firm. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
Sure. The Barber Law Firm, our primary office is in Plano. We have office locations kind of around the Metroplex. Most of our stuff these days is pretty easy with Zoom and everything that came out of COVID. We're usually signing people up remotely. They don't even have to come in and see us, but we try to make it easy on people. We try to really take care of our clients. People, I always tell them, check out our client reviews, check out the reviews of any attorney that you're looking at. But we've been doing it for over 25 years and really proud of our team and love working with you guys.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Kris. Thank you.